everybody. Jerry Scrolato here with another episode of Thriveology 101. And today I want to talk to you about developing your movement hygiene practice. Now, as we get into this, you'll realize that a lot of people already have this practice in place to a small extent, but I'm going to challenge you to expand your movement hygiene. Now, what is movement hygiene in the first place? So movement hygiene is the purposeful, intentional practice of moving on a regular basis throughout the day so that you're developing and improving your health and vitality. A lot of people exercise, or a decent amount of people exercise. The average person who goes to the gym exercises about 2 times a week. The average person who comes to Thriveology exercises about 3 times a week. So we are leveling up our health, if you will. Nonetheless, 2 times a week of purposeful movement is certainly a great place to start, but we need to learn and implement a daily practice of getting up and moving. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to get up and move heavy weights or get up and exercise hard periodically throughout the day. All that means is getting up and moving periodically throughout the day. Now, in Thriveology 101, we did, I think episode 1, we talked about getting up and parking further away from the door so that you're getting more walking in. We talked about fighting your lazy elephant. We talked about a couple of strategies to get more NEAT into your life. If you need to know about more NEAT, check out the article that I'll link in the comments below or in the notes below. But an example of a movement hygiene practice is getting 10,000 steps a day. So everyone has Fitbits now, or everyone has some sort of thing that looks like a Fitbit, an iWatch, a Fitbit, a Jawbone, whatever other type of watch or thing that tracks your steps you might have. And a lot of people have the goal to get 10,000 steps a day, which is a great goal. It's a great place to start. And 10,000 steps a day is a great example, a small example of movement hygiene. It is purposely getting up to move so that you're getting in your 10,000 steps. That's your goal for the day. And that should be your goal every day. However, I'm going to challenge you again to level up your health and to level up your movement and to expand that from just getting steps to actually getting movements into your life. So here's what movement hygiene consists of. First, it consists of at least 3 of the 6 basic human movements. So the 6 basic human movements are push, pull, hinge, squat, carry, and then everything else. Okay? So a push is anything in which you're pushing something away from your body or you're pushing your body away from something. Okay, so a push-up is a great example of a push. A pull is anything that you're pulling something towards your body or you're pulling your body towards something. So a pull-up is a great example of that. A hinge is anything where you're bending a lot at the waist. You're bending a lot at the waist and not bending so much at the knees. So a deadlift is a great version of that. And then a squat, of course, is a squat where you're bending a lot at the waist and bending a lot at the knees. For carries, for those of you who are not Thriveology members, not part of the pack, a carry is anything that you're carrying. You're carrying a weight, an object, for a distance. Maybe you're carrying it in a bear hug position. Maybe you're carrying it down by your side, but it's an instance where you're carrying something for a distance. And then everything else is, of course, everything that doesn't fit into one of those 5 categories. So that can be curls, that can be walking, doesn't necessarily fit into any of those categories, just regular walking. That can be get-ups, for those of you who know who get-ups are, know what get-ups are. So your movement hygiene includes exercises, includes movements from 3 of those 6 categories. To go along with that, each one of those exercises, each one of those 3 exercises or movements has to have a certain number that you're trying to achieve within the day. So we already talked about 10,000 steps. Steps is the movement. 10,000 is the number that you're trying to achieve in the day. So to help you understand this a little better, let me tell you my movement hygiene. So I actually include an exercise from each one of these categories. So I have 6 exercises, 6 movements that I'm trying to accomplish. Get-ups is the first one. I do 1 get-up every day. That's in the everything else category. 1 get-up every day. Push, I do push-ups. I do 10 push-ups every day. Pull, I do pull-ups. I have a tree out in front of my house, luckily enough, that has a limb that is thick enough to hold this heavy body and also close enough to the ground that I don't have to jump up and grab it, and I can do pull-ups off of it. So I do 10 pull-ups every morning. So get-ups, 1 get-up, 10 push-ups, 10 pull-ups. 100 combination squat and swings. So whichever one I do most of, generally I'll do 5 sets of 15 swings and 10 squats. 1,000 steps of carries. That one's a little more challenging. 1,000 steps of carries, and then 10,000 steps. 10,000 steps. Okay. So I have push, pull, push-ups, pull, pull-ups, hinge, kettlebell swings, squat, goblet squat, carry, any type of carry for 1,000 steps, and then everything else is get-ups, and then I have my bonus 10,000 steps. So what does this look like to you? How are you going to develop your movement hygiene? Again, there are 3 steps to developing your movement hygiene. Step number 1, pick 3 movements that you want to focus on from the 6 basic human movements: push, pull, hinge, squat, carry, and everything else. So how do you pick those movements? Well, what's your goal? If your goal is to lose weight, then you're going to want to pick movements that are higher calorie burners: squats, deadlifts, anything that's moving typically your lower body or moving a lot of your body. Those are the kinds of movements that are going to burn the most calories. Maybe you have an area that you want to focus on, building more muscle or improving. So if you want to focus on your upper body, then you're going to want to pick at least push or pull or both. So 3 basic human movements, and then exercises within those movements. If you don't know the exercises, go to our YouTube channel. We have 400 exercise library video to choose from. So you can go in there and you can break down each one of the movements, and that way you can see which exercises fit within the movements. Number 2, you're going to pick the numbers, of course, that go with those movements. You have to pick the numbers that go with those movements that you want to achieve every day. Okay? So a couple of rules. Number 1, at least for one of those exercises, one of the numbers you have to be able to do almost first thing in the morning. Okay? So like for me, 10 push-ups, I can do that first thing in the morning and I can knock that out. Why is that important? Because you're checking it off your list. You've already accomplished something. You've already achieved something. You've already improved your health, if at least to the smallest extent. Okay? So maybe if that's 1 push-up for you, maybe that's 10 squats for you, whatever that is, whatever that number is, at least pick one of those exercises, and those reps should be something that you should be able to do close to first thing in the morning. If not in the first half of your day, you should be able to knock it out in 1 set. So another rule is that for one of those exercises, the number should be set in a way that you should have to break it up into at least 5 sets. Okay, at least 5 sets. So again, going back to my movement hygiene, 1,000 steps of carries. 1,000 steps of carries. I could do that in 1 set, but I would be super tired and it would take a long time. So I have to do that in 5 sets of 200 steps. 5 sets of 200 steps. And if I do that and I break it up, then that's forcing me to get up periodically throughout the day so that I'm getting my NEAT and my non-exercise activity thermogenesis. I'm getting up and I'm forcing myself to move. Okay? So pick your numbers. Make sure that at least one of the exercises you can do in 1 set, if you can knock it out. Make sure that for it also at least another one of the exercises, you have to break it up into 5 sets. So we've talked about picking the exercises. We've talked about picking the numbers. And then number 3, the 3rd step in creating your movement hygiene practice is getting started. So start it today. If not, by the latest, tomorrow morning. So set your movement hygiene today. Choose what you want to do. Choose your exercises. Choose your movements. And start it tomorrow. If you already have 10,000 steps and that's something that you're achieving on a regular basis, then what are some movements that you want to add on to that? What are 2 movements that you want to add on to that? And add on to that, and that'll bring you up to 3 movements. So if you're already doing 10,000 steps, maybe you add push-ups and you add squats, and that's your movement hygiene. Okay? If you're already at 10,000 steps, you are already ahead of the game. So all you have to do is add a few more. All right? That's your challenge. That's how you create your movement hygiene practice. That's what's going to help move you toward better health and vitality. If you have any questions, of course, always leave a comment, shoot us a message. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share. Do all of those wonderful things. Give this to your friends so that they can improve their health and vitality as well. Until next time, my friends, here's to your success in fitness mastery.